Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let's Go Enduro. This is another race lap commentated on by me, the guy behind the bars. I actually have recorded 2 laps, but I think that the first lap is the most interesting, even if it is probably one of my slower laps because I still hadn't quite found my rhythm. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So there's the gate drop, and we're off. The start line was like basically really grassy, so I didn't get a lot of traction. These guys found it, don't know how. And I had no intention of fighting here. You can see I just let that guy go. He put his elbow into me. I felt him. I was like, go ahead. So I'm actually sitting dead last right now. There are 6 people in my class. All of them are in front of me. So you can see, and you're probably curious why, because every time I do one of these, I end up looking for the whole shot, trying to, come out the gate strong. But the reason is this section right here didn't really scare me, but it scared me to think about fighting through it. It's a one at a time type deal, and I wasn't going to be throwing elbows through this right here. So I figured I'm going to let him go. It's all good. I've got 2 hours of racing in these hills to catch them. No big deal. So I was pretty chill, trying to relax, just let my body get all warmed up. Even though I did my warm up before, I just wanted to get more in tune with the bike. Breathe, stand up, focus on technique, focus on not making mistakes, and just reel them in one at a time. This race was really, really, really interesting, especially the beginning. The part that scared me the most is definitely the most interesting part of the race. So hard right-hander here, and that is where we will link up for every other lap after that. So through the labyrinth, I'll call it, but not quite out of the labyrinth woods yet. So this is an old hacienda. I have no idea how old it is, but the whole land was once probably a really gorgeous place. I took the stairs. Everyone else didn't. I thought the stairs were cool, so I was like, I'm going to use them. Up this crazy cobblestone walkway, which I thought was really cool. And then through the actual hacienda, which I can only imagine the original owners are not happy. Well, they've been gone for hundreds of years, but they wouldn't be happy about that. No worries. Okay, so we're about to see my strategy come into play here. So we're about to go up the first hill climb, and bam, you can see my friend here, Ricardo, up there on the hill, made his first mistake, and I am there to capitalize. So good job, Ricardo, on the start. And a little story about Ricardo is actually he's raced this race with no front brakes at all. His cylinder was gone, so he just took the darn thing off. And yeah, he did really well. He actually does end up being pretty competitive, but then having a really serious crash later on that took him out. He's not injured, but his bike was broken pretty badly. So Ricardo is very fast. So that little mistake, I don't hold it against him. He just probably was expecting to be able to do something with his front brake that wasn't there. So on these flat like road sections, I am not the quickest guy. I don't have that 30 years of experience because this is the 30s class. These guys have a lot of experience. I'm still relatively uncomfortable just absolutely pushing it on these roads. The dust wasn't so much of a problem because I knew the course. I knew there's going to be puddles and stuff, but I just don't have that confidence that they have. But coming up these uphills into these hill climbs, the technical stuff, I have a lot of confidence because I practice that all the time. And this is definitely my favorite moment for me of the race right here. You can see that there's 2 people up there. One of them is stuck on the log. There's like a little ramp built to the left there. You can see the little ramp. See, there's a little ramp, and he just got his skid plate stuck. And obviously, this guy right here is stuck too because he's waiting. But me, on the other hand, decided not to wait. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit play and let you see what happens. Yeah, so that was a 2-for-1 special for me. So I went from 6, 1 pass back there, Ricardo. So that's 5th, 4th, 3rd, and I'm sitting 3rd right now, even with such a bad start. All because you just wait. They're always going to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. And I had a relatively mistake-free race. Of course, I made one, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just a simple navigation error that I'm pretty sure a lot of people made. These uphills are pretty steep. It's hard to show it off on camera, but I'm sure if you watch moto vlogs or any sort of this, you'll know people always say, "Oh, it's steeper in life." Well, of course, but this section was weird because it was so tight, and then bam, this really steep uphill. The day before that was way harder, and I was expecting it to be a lot steeper. But the promotional classes and the novices must have run it before and got stuck and just rutted it out. So it actually made it a lot easier. This section is pretty great. It's like a logging camp, but it's like loose but not loose. So at first your bike starts to skid out, but then you just dig in. So lap 5, this whole place was really rutted out, and you could really get traction. The first lap, it was a lot different. Very steep uphill here. Absolutely love this. Just rip through here. Don't hit this tree on the left because your bars want to. Another log jump here. Boop. Just send it up there, and then bump up to the right, and then immediately to the left. Yep. Still going uphill. The race was at 8,000 feet. It was very high altitude. The bike's definitely, I wouldn't say mine felt weaker, but a lot of the guys with carburetors I could tell were struggling because they didn't change their jets, which sucks. So thank KTM for TPI and the ability to just turn the bike off and on again. You can see I'm hunting somebody right now. I'm on the hunt, on the prowl, got my eyes set. About 100 meters in front of me is second place. So, and all the while, somehow in my head, I thought I was in 4th place. I have no idea how. Like, even at right now, I think I'm like sitting in 4th, and that guy's 3rd, and I'm like push. And then somehow after I don't know. But this section it was a weird fast uphill to a left-hander, and then we go, and there should be a weird right-hander. The hard part here was the sun. Just as the camera shows it, it was just like that in real life too. It was going from light to dark really fast. Luckily, my friend Alan allowed me to borrow his clear goggles because I need to purchase a set of clear goggles, because the only other goggles that I have are slightly tinted, and with this sun going in and out to shade to light, it was not an option. I was going to go without goggles, and he was like, "Hey man, use these." So pretty sweet. Very nice of him to do. They were a little sweaty from his race, but you know what? I'll take it. And yeah, this section was awesome. I know I could have done it a lot faster, and I did in the later laps. But like I said earlier, these really high-speed sections, I just don't have the confidence to be able to just rail them at 100%. Especially 100% on a 300 is like 70 miles an hour. So yeah, I'm not that brave. Not even close. So he goes to the left, I go through this big ass hole through the right, and he makes a nav error, and bam, there's a pass number. What is that? I don't know. I know at this point, I know now that I'm sitting in 2nd place, and that was it. I was like, cool, I'm good. I'm gonna go. I need to pick up the pace. I want to get under 20 minutes a lap because I had a goal of doing 6 laps in 2 hours. It was I thought a long shot, but I did end up completing that goal. I crossed the finish line on my 5th lap with 3 minutes left, which means you get 1 more lap. So I got my 6 laps in, which was awesome. I love this section because you have to like throw the bike over the rocks. There's a lot of rocks you don't see here that are rim benders or just throw you around. And I ended up hitting a couple of them, not so bad in the first lap because I was a little more cautious, but yeah, they're there, and they are gnarly. So basically, the whole race, I'm focusing on trying to stand up, be on my toes, then attack position. These are all really simple words of advice and tips and tricks that you can learn from motocross, but it's everything. I'm not sure why I'm slowing down here. I think I'm confused because I don't remember this part of the course from practice. That's fine. That happens. Yeah. But pick it up. Let's go, basically. There's a lot of mental fighting with yourself when you're out there. Like, oh, man, this is scary. I need to slow down. And then you're like, dude, this is a race. You got to go. And then you'll tell yourself, like, oh, it's fine. It's It's not the end of the world to get third or fourth or fifth. And it's like, no, dude, you're out here to compete. Let's go. So there's a lot of that going on, especially in the first lap and the last laps. The last laps, it's even tougher. So random right-hander here, but you don't want to hit that well that's just chilling right there. Some of the times I wonder why the course designers don't just move these uphills slightly to the left or to the right. And to a single track. So these sections were basically no pass zones. So if you later on in the race, the experts were lapping us because they're insanely fast. They're pro riders. If they got behind you in one of those single tracks, you either got off the single track or you just absolutely sent it through the single track to not slow them down. If an expert's behind you and you don't get out of their way, they should, in my opinion, knock your butt clean off your bike, because they're there with a whole different level of racing that you are. So, yeah, this would be a good spot to pass. And then a hard left-hander, which I liked a lot, and do another single track. But this is an area you could pass if you wanted to. Probably not here, but there are certain sections. But there's a lot of stumps, so you don't want to go off the trail if you can avoid it because of the stumps and the slippy logs. Ooh, I almost hit this tree. I did hit it with my hand guards. Big tree I want to go to the right of. This tree is enormous. And then follow the trail down. I actually learned this yesterday, the day before on practice, to do that, because that was a very confusing section for me until I saw someone else do it. And then through this random mud. There was only mud in like one spot of the whole course, and that was it. Basically, at this point, we're going downhill. It was all uphill up until then, and now we're back down. There isn't another hill climb. There's Ricardo. So that is the guy that I've passed first, and he's also the man with no front brake. Doesn't even have the lever there. Kind of crazy. So I'm sitting third now, and I'm okay with that. Because Ricardo's an awesome dude, and I'm just like, man, I can't keep that pace right now. So we're good. I'll catch him later. And I thought I would end up passing him later, but what happened was Ricardo had a bad off and went so off the course that when I passed him, I didn't even see him. After the race, he was like, "Did you not see me off the course when I crashed?" And I was like, I honestly, no joke, did not see you. Or obviously I would have made sure he was okay, but no, I had no idea that Ricardo was off. After that, I thought I was in fourth position. I don't know why. I should have known I was in third. I think what happened was I thought there were 7 people competing in my class, and that I had only passed enough to be fourth. So I'm in push mode basically from here on out. I was kind of in push mode, but Ricardo just made me look slow because Ricardo is a very good rider. But yeah, so I'm sitting third, and eventually I do end up in second, as you probably already know. So all downhill. I had a really, really bad crash on practice the day before, to the point where my neck is very sore from that crash. I landed directly on my face. No, I do not have it on camera, sadly. I ended up having a big swollen lip and bruised nose and forehead. So I'm pretty cautious going on these downhills because that's exactly where it happened. And throughout the day here, it's getting progressively more whooped out because the experts are either 100% braking or 100% accelerating, which causes whoops. So I do get faster throughout the day. This is, watch your head, low-hanging log. This isn't fast, in my opinion. This is a cautious descent because I don't want to crash again. I had the fear put in me from the day before because it was a hard hit. So everything from here on is just, I would say, like a forest loominess to the soil. It's not real sticky like I'm used to, but it's definitely not slippery like the last race. The mud there was horrible. But yeah, I think this is the perfect soil for dirt bike riding, probably mountain bike riding as well. This would be really fun on a mountain bike if you're into that. Very beautiful. Like I said, at 8,000 feet, bike's running good. You can tell the altitude from the type of trees, actually. It's pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure this trail is typically used for animals. I don't believe it's used for anything other than livestock and stuff. All right, now that I've seen that big tree, I know that it's not so steep anymore. I gotta go. And my bike isn't accelerating. What's going on? Well, my crankcase seal, which holds the transmission oil, 4-stroke oil, away and out of the combustion chamber, is bad. And I knew that, but I didn't have time, or no stores were open to buy a new one, so I couldn't replace it. So on the downhill, the engine got loaded up with 4-stroke oil, and the spark plug is a wee bit dirty, so it takes a sec for it to clean out. On the next couple of laps, what I would do going downhill is just hold the clutch in and rev the engine out every now and again to clean it out. Just a lesson learned in the first lap that I couldn't accelerate when I really wanted to. So, yeah. Back into single track. I'd say this is a passable single track. I don't believe I ever did get passed through here, even by an expert. But I'd say they could have. Those guys are so good, they could probably pass me anywhere they want. So we're still descending. I don't want to say that we're not descending, but we're not descending at the same rate as we were before the big tree back there. And that's right there. Every single 4 laps in a row, I hit that darn stump that's sticking out in the middle of the road. Luckily I have mooses, otherwise I probably would have ended up with a flat. Hard motocross right-hander here, which I did not do a good job of on the first lap. Started railing it on the other laps. Another hard left-hander into an uphill to the right. Again, could have done that better, but it's the first lap. I'm still kind of figuring it out. And then here is a clear out your bike full throttle. You can see I'm trying to work it out. I'm like, come on, bike, clear out. And then there's a really hard right-hander, but if you go too steep, you fall into a hole. So you kind of got to judge. I got to slide it, but I don't want to slide it too much. And then down this hill, and this is my singular navigation error right there. I knew this did not look familiar. I knew what I did. I messed up. Got to turn around. What happened was, I'm guessing one of the experts at their rapid pace didn't brake in time and broke that ribbon, and the ribbon wasn't there to remind me I have to turn left. So that's all there was to it. At this point, I'm feeling pretty home stretch-ish for the first lap. Like, obviously, I still have 2 hours, but I'm really curious at this point to see what the clock countdown looks like, because the way that this race works is when the race starts, the clock for me starts to go down. So I have 2 hours to get as many laps in as I can. If I cross the finish line at 1 hour and 59 minutes and 30 seconds, I have 1 more lap to go. So basically, I need to get as many laps in before that clock runs out. And it's best to get as many laps. Like, I wanted to get 6 laps. So if I knew it would be cutting it close to get 5 laps completed in 2 hours, and I knew if I got 5 laps, it would be right around 2 hours. So I actually ended up getting my 5th lap with 3 minutes left, which means you got another lap. Because I finished that 5th lap and before the timer was out. So I'm really excited at this point to see what my first lap looked like. It was disappointing, so I actually picked up the pace a lot, and throughout the day I got progressively faster. I believe my quickest lap was either my 4th or 5th lap. I'm not entirely sure. They haven't released the times yet, but definitely not my first lap. My first lap was a very cautious one, and that's what we're watching. For some reason, this always took me off guard. I didn't know to go right here, but I love it. Go up, boop, miss this big rock, drop the front tire down, up here to the left. For some reason, I almost went the wrong way. Left again, and then we're going to go down to this cool, I don't know what it is. It's like a cool constructed thing. I don't know. Go down through here, up and to the right, and that is technically the timing finish line right there. And not quite done a lap, but we basically have. So that's 1 lap of the hare scramble. If you keep following me, there'll be tons of shorts on this race, and you can watch all the rest as I go. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and get out there and race, have fun. That's the lap of my hair scramble.